Our road to Pensacon 2023. Wait, feels like I'm forgetting something. Hang on. Ah, much better. And I brought these crazy guys along for the ride. It's in today's video and it's coming up next. Was a kid, all I had was a dream, more money, more well, top of the morning to you, everybody. Beautiful day. The sun is shining. Trees are dying. I have some props here that I have to get sanding because we are on the road to Pensacon 2023. So today I'm going to be doing two helmets by Nico Industries. Moon Knight and Sylvie. For Darkwing Z and Darkwing Bri. I'm sure you've seen them. The cool thing about this video is helmets, I am actually letting them do some of the work. I'm gonna do the basic sanding. I'm gonna be teaching both of them smoothing prints. I'm going to be reprising my role as Star-Lord. I haven't really done any upgrades to any things I 3D printed. I really didn't have to. This year, the eyes have the LEDs in them. Last year, they did not. It's more about the kids. They really get a kick out of it. We are meeting Sean Gunn from Guardians of the Galaxy. He plays Kraglin.
Thanks.
And a couple other celebrities here and there. This is more or less to get my kids engaged in this. They love seeing me build things, and these are actually their cosplay outfits, so I wanted to get them involved. A quick shot of this helmet here. Only thing I've done to this so far is I did print this upside down, so I took the soldering iron. This is gonna need some filler, but I kind of smoothed this out. The rest of it's a pretty good print. Anything too crazy. And then here is Sylvie's crown. She's gonna prime it, get it painted. I'm gonna teach her how to weather this. It's gonna look really cool. First things first, I've got my sander here, thick interface pad. Get this nice and smooth, get things going. Now that the models are prep sanded, we're gonna get right into it with the Sylvie crown. So all I'm doing here is just explaining to Darkwing Bri, showing her proper technique of how to apply the primer, just different directions, angle of the nozzle, the amount you should put on, just simple things like that, just getting her used to spraying the filler primer on. Once that's all applied, we're gonna flip it upside down, let that dry, and do a little bit of sanding. Pretty much it for the first coat. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this sit for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna move it in the sun so it dries quicker, and then we'll flip it upside down. And then I'll have you do the underside of it. First coat on. Again, we are only using Bondo filler primer. This is keeping it nice and simple for her. So we are gonna let this dry. We'll flip it upside down and then you can do the second coat. Good job. After proper dry time, we flip it upside down, and here's Darkwing Bri now applying it to the underside of the crown, getting some of those areas that we couldn't get from the top, showing great technique and form. And of course, I just came in just to make sure everything was good, and now we're gonna inspect it. This is the Sylvie crown after we did our sanding and a couple coats of Bondo filler primer. Even though this was printed at a decent layer height, you can see why I always stress about using some sort of putty. You're just gonna spend forever trying to get some of these out here. But this being her first, piece that she's kind of making, we're not chasing perfection. We're gonna sand this again here, try to get some of these knocked down. Being such an intricate piece, it's gonna be hard to get in some of these little areas. Pretty good. I'm gonna go through 320 and 400 and then repeat that process with some filler primer and then sand it one more time and see how smooth we can get this. First things first, let's do a little bit more work on Sylvie here. So now getting right into sanding, we actually jumped right up to 400. I had to show her a little bit just how to get in some of those nooks and crannies, folding the sandpaper over. Once she's seen me do it, she went to town, absolutely went crazy with this. The 400, it still offers some nice sanding. We didn't want to go too low, around 220 or 320. It was gouging a little bit, so we jumped up to 400. And she just took her time and just kind of kept going at it. And before you knew it, it was looking awesome. How'd it go? Good? Let's see. What? Bracing. Chicken. So here, Darkwing Bri took over, did a great job of sanding this down. So hit it with some more filler primer while Darkwing Grayson sings in the background. Yeah, we're gonna get some Bondo filler primer on this, so let's go. And again, here she is with the Bondo filler primer, just doing another coat, nice and even, adequate, looking good. I'm gonna have her inspect it and see what she thinks. So, moment of truth. Are you satisfied with the way it looks, or do you want to sand it one more time?
No kidding! I think it looks good.
For a first timer, she definitely got in there. She spent a lot of time in these nooks and crannies. Looks pretty good. I think once you get the paint on there and weather it, the few minor imperfections that are in there, I don't really think you'll see. So we're gonna let this sit and then we're gonna start painting it. You excited?
Yeah.
All right. So we have the Sylvie Crown set up in the paint booth here. This being her first prop, we're just using some Rust-Oleum metallic champagne bronze. This will be a good starter, nice starter color here. Tape on the edges here just to hold it in place. Gonna get our mask on here, get everything set up. I'm gonna let Darkwing Bri paint this. Just teach her some basics here and then let her go to town on it. And now here just applying the paint. Again, I just did a quick demo for her. She already had a pretty good hang of it from using the Bondo filler primer, but she is a very quick learner. She is super artistic. I'm super proud of this kid. She's doing an awesome job in this. Again, just kind of instructing her, giving her some tips and tricks, just how to angle the nozzle without creating runs and things like that. But like I said, she picked it up really good. So we did 2 light coats of this. It was looking really good. We did do the inside of it, which we didn't film, but we got the inside sprayed gold. It's looking really awesome. Nice clean coats, no runs. She did an awesome job. All that's left is to put some clear on this and weather it, and that's coming up soon. All right, so now I am moving on to Darkwing Z's helmet here. A real basic kind of scuff sand. It's a similar smoothing process with the Bondo glazing putty. It's a new different product, which I will have a full tutorial and explanation on. This is of course reduced down. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna paint this on, fill in, smooth out a majority of the PLA lines. I will hit it with a couple coats of Bondo filler primer, hit it with some 320, followed by some 400, do a final coat of primer, and we'll be ready for paints. You know, using a putty in the right aspect is so very important. And with this, you know, diluted down acetone mix that I use so often, you know, whether you spray it, whether you apply it with the brush, it just speeds up the process so fast. You don't have to use a ton of filler primer. You're not caking it on layer after layer after layer after layer. And then if you're not using something like a Bondo filler primer, you're waiting 45 minutes. If you're using Rust-Oleum, you're waiting 2 to 3 hours. It's a motivational killer because you're just sitting there watching paint dry. 15-20 minutes, you're ready to sand. The Bondo filler primer, same thing. Getting a good chunk of this done here today. Once this is applied, I'm gonna let Darkwing Z take over. I'm gonna let him sand it to his liking. I can't wait to tell you guys more about this, but for now you get a teaser. You're gonna see just how well this works. Some coats on this, and then we're gonna have Darkwing Z, the man, take over. Stay tuned. Want to give you a quick view here after applying the second coat. This mystery product here, that's all I'm going to call it. This is absolutely awesome. When you see this helmet finished, you will have no idea that an 8-year-old with minimal experience actually got this smooth out. This fills in so well. It's a thick coat, but it did not lose any definition in the model. It is absolutely awesome. The brilliant thing about this was probably 6 or 7 minutes after I applied it. I was able to handle it. We were able to get right into sanding. I'll show you a quick demo here of sanding it. Took the back outside here and just showing you how easy it sands by hand with just 220. Knocks down super quick. This very well may replace Bondo glazing putty for me. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but this process was super easy with this product. So here showing you both with a palm sander and by hand, it absolutely knocks it down super quick. Let's get into showing you a little bit of how easy Darkwing Z got this knocked down. So here you can see I'm kind of showing him the ropes here, giving him the basics. He's going at it with the palm sander, and we're doing it by hand. Of course, I just kind of stepped in there. Luckily, I was able to fit on the Fisher-Price picnic table there, but I was showing some of the ins and outs, giving some tips and tricks. After that, we got right into the Bondo filler primer. So we did a pretty good sand with 220, got some of the areas knocked down. Again, just showing him the ropes, getting the ins and outs. A really great job. Looked awesome after the first coat. Pretty good. And there is no hesitation in Darkwing Z's sanding game, so he went at it, started sanding the back right away after it was primed. We got that looking nice and good. Then he jumped right on it, did his final coat of primer, and then went right back at it with the front. So with all that said and done, I'm gonna let him take over and tell you what we're doing. So tell me what you're doing.
We're sanding it again.
With what?
3MP 400.
Yeah, but what is it? 400, and then what's the next number going up?
600.
There you go. We're getting it nice and smooth, right? Final coat of primer, and then guess what? Time to paint it. And then we got to weather it.
I thought I had a black shirt. I was like, oh.
We got, no, my shirt's destroyed. What's your monkey's name?
Jamal.
Jamal. Where did you come up with that name?
It's from the memes, Jamal.
And this cringe man, he's looking quite cringe with his dust all over his pants. You've been working hard.
Yes.
You're covered. Pretty dirty. So,
Yeah, so are you.
how does the mask look?
Good.
Good? You think it's ready for its final coat of primer? Let's see. I think it looks pretty good. You definitely were doing some sand in here. So it looks pretty... It's smooth, isn't it? So I think this is pretty good. We will give it a wipe down here. You did it with 400 and 600. Got this down. I'm going to do the final coat of primer, and then I'm going to show you how to paint. You pumped?
Yes.
Let's do this. And real quick here, just showing you the awesome results after the final coat of primer. Again, all we did here is I stepped in and did a quick scuff sand with 220, applied 2 coats of the putty acetone mix. Myself and Darkwing Z sanded it 220. Darkwing Z applied 2 coats of filler primer. He then sanded it with 400, 600, and then did the final coat of primer. And this thing's pretty much ready for paint now, so let's go. So we tried something a little bit different with Darkwing Z's Moon Knight, and I actually used hammered paint. I noticed that this paint gives a little bit of a texture, almost looking like fabric. So instead of taking the cloth and dabbing it on there, giving it that cloth effect, this actually worked pretty good. Gives it a little bit of texture. The only downside was it was kind of hard to spray, so I kind of had to step in and help Darkwing Z a little bit. But here he is finally applying the white paint after adequate dry time with the base coat. He's finalizing it up, and it's looking awesome. We're gonna let this dry, but next, let's jump over to Darkwing Bri and see how she's doing with the weathering process on her Sylvie crown. So after a little demo of showing Darkwing Bri how to do some weathering, she hopped right into it, grabbed her brush and started doing the weathering. We are doing the acetone blending. At first she wasn't too sure, but eventually it came full circle. More into it now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Now that it makes sense, it's a little bit easier, isn't it? You're a little bit hesitant at first. You're like, I don't think this is gonna work. And here she is continuing on where she left off. We're doing a couple different combinations here. A little bit of a black wash, some dabbing, some acetone blending. Overall, I let her do it to her liking. She did the inside, the outside, and this thing came out absolutely awesome. We're gonna let that dry, and now we're gonna switch over to Darkwing Z and give him a 101 in some weathering. So how do you feel you did on your mask? I think it's pretty awesome. Do you know what we're gonna do?
Weather it.
I kind of started to give us the general grungy look. You are gonna do that to that, but don't do it to Groot.
I am Groot. It will make him look more realistic.
No. So let's get started, okay? And now Darkwing Z, well, he couldn't wait any longer to get his mask going, so here we are. I gave him basically the same tutorial breakdown as I did with Darkwing Bri. His is a little bit bigger, and it did take a little bit longer, but here he's highlighting all those edges, preparing them to mask in and blend with the acetone. He did a great job. The only thing is I wish I would have had some smaller gloves, because there were some times where there were some slips and some things we put on too heavy and too light, but he's going at it. Again, he is doing it to his liking, and he did an absolutely awesome job. As we continued on, he's seen more and more how it started to look better and better as we blended it in. Overall, super proud of both these kids. Both these helmets came out absolutely awesome. And here's a quick look at both of their finished helmets. A look at the crown after some unfilmed work we did. I think she did an awesome job. Had her cut some Eva foam, stick it on the inside of the crown where she needed it. And then I helped her a little bit with the strap just because I didn't want to make it thick to where it like hit her ear or something. So I just kind of trimmed it down in a pattern, and we just hot glued it in place. And I also added these clips on here. She can just slide it on and it clips in place. So that's pretty much the completed crown here. She did an awesome job weathering it and everything, and she's gonna look awesome as Sylvie at Pensacon. And here is just a shot of the completed Moon Knight helmet. Went back and he wanted to add some more weathering in some of the areas, and he definitely has my OCD traits where he tries to make everything match like sequentially. And I told him, I said the helmet isn't perfectly sequential, so you can't make the left always look like the right, but he did a really good job. We used the acetone blending. Sometimes he got a little bit overzealous and it would strip it off. We have to add it back on. I kind of stepped in and helped him a little bit, but really, I mean, he did probably 85% of the shading. I even went back and redid this. He didn't like the way this looked compared to the rest of the helmet, so we added some padding in here. So this is just more comfortable for him, just the Velcro padding, so it's cool. So if he doesn't want it, he can just take it off. The back, no magnets or anything. This basically just clicks right in place. think he did a great job doing it. He is also going to look awesome. Go ahead and drop Darkwing Bri and Darkwing Z a comment in the comment section. Let them know what you think of their mask and how they did. It's pretty much good. We're going to get some sleep, and we have got a big day tomorrow at Pensacon. So I'm going to put these off to the side, start getting everything ready, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys. Well, that's it. That is a wrap on this video. Me more on the sidelines for this one, but I thought it was a pretty awesome video I wanted to share with you guys. Trying to get the Darkwing crew into 3D printing.
Captain's got to teach stuff.
Quick shot here. Darkwing Z's Moon Knight helmet came out. Not too shabby for a first timer. Darkwing Bri's Sylvie Crown, again, they did their absolute best, and they're only going to get better. End results on these pieces were really great. I am super proud of them. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to drop them a comment in the comment section. Let them know what you think of their helmets. Of course, if you did like the video and what they did, make sure to give them a thumbs up. Show them some love. I'm sure this won't be the last time you see them building something. Who knows? Maybe Darkwing Z will start building his own Iron Man suit and more likely have it done before me. But I really wanted to get them into 3D printing because, you know, aside from, you know, showing them skill, they both are pretty talented kids. And, you know, I think nowadays, you know, people in general, not just kids, they just assume everything should be handed to them. And this was me kind of saying, hey, if you put the hard work in and put the effort in, you know, you can do it yourselves. If you want that, earn it. They definitely earn these masks. They look absolutely awesome. We look great at Pensacon. I am going to have a full video not only showing them in their completed cosplay suits, but us showing some highlights of Pensacon, some of the celebrities, some of the things we did, some of the things we saw. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel and you click that notification bell so you will see that full video of our Pensacon 2023 highlights. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you like everything you're seeing, all things 3D printing, cosplay, Funko Pops, Marvel, all the crazy things we're doing on this channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button. The list of videos I have are never ending. I am trying more and more to try to pump these videos out for you guys. I appreciate every single one of you guys watching these videos, liking these videos, comments. This channel wouldn't be what it was if it wasn't for you. So I thank each and every one of you, and that's why I keep trying to bring you these awesome techniques and videos to help you guys on your path to awesomeness. Speaking of awesomeness, that awesome product that you've seen that I used on Darkwing Z's helmet, I do have a full video. It is almost completed. Warning, it is going to be a little bit longer, but I really break down and show you and why this product is so much better than other things that I've used. Again, looking at this, I mean, this helmet is just so smooth. It's so clean. Really gonna like it. It's an awesome product. So that is gonna be my next video. I still have the subscriber giveaway coming. I still have a lot of great things coming. I still have Kang. I have all these videos. I just don't have time to finish them and edit them. But I am diligently working at bringing you guys more and more videos, the best content that I have. So just be patient and know that they are coming. There's gonna be more tips and tricks from DW before you know it. That's it for now, guys. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching this. I know both Darkwing Bri and Darkwing Z, thank you. I wish they were here right now, but this is the only time I could film. Everybody's at school. The house is quiet. You'll hear more from them in the Pensacon highlight video that we have. For now, show them some love by giving a thumbs up and dropping them a comment. As I always say, I got a list of projects I got to get working on. Give us a thumbs up, drop us a comment, and until next time, DW out. Later.